Gavin Rossdale from Bush, thank you for joining us here at the Rockpit. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and even more so to talk to you about, you know, the new album, I Beat Loneliness, which drops here in Australia tomorrow. I think
That's
it's
great.
another day in the US or wherever you are in the world at the moment. But what a record, man! Blown away, completely stunned by this record. It not stunned, but excited by it. I since
I'll take stunned. I'll
I
take stunned.
yeah, I got it earlier in the week and I haven't stopped playing it. And each listen, I found something new in it, and I found a favorite track each time. And that's something that's really remarkable in a record. That each time the listen is great, but you seem to I found myself diving deeper into individual tracks, and I mean, God, uh, you know, we're all the same on the inside as the one that sits with me today. That really hits. Um, I love the content and the context of this album. Tell me a little bit about the journey of writing the album for you.
Um, it's funny because through talking about it, I think I remember the process. And the process went something like this, that when we were going to go do the greatest hits, which I was really nervous about, not the greatest doing the greatest hits was something that was suggested to me as a celebration by my manager of the previous 30 years. And people wanted to crystallize that time in their lives or these times in their lives or these decades. So I wasn't really into it, but I just agreed to do it because, whatever. I can't, I got a democracy, right? And so I thought if I write some songs that would feel a little bit more creatively less bankrupt and like less like leaning on one song, you do greatest hits, then you do a whole cycle, 2 years on you didn't write a song for a long time. And then so I thought I'd write some songs and I just was trying to get into my own zone. I mean, like, what's the best thing I can offer versus cross with plus how have I connected the most to people in my history? Like lyrics and energy, vibe about personal situations, personal politics, and stuff like that. And I just came up with this record and like, so I wrote 9 songs. It began with I Beat Loneliness. So I had in my mind the kind of aesthetic, the approach of the record, like be yourself. That's when I can be the best for anyone that likes me or the band. If I can be myself, I can be the best contribution. And so I really had like a crazy deep dive. Every song was about an experiment of sound. Every song was like, what do you care about? What matters? What's important? Like, just write about what you think right now in this moment, here in this moment. And so it's quite confrontational to write to myself, to be confessional, to be open, to be honest, to be really naked. Say like, and I need help in the songs, say we're all insane. Scars are just angels written on the body. And I have loads of scars. And so it's just sometimes people feel insecure about their scars when scars are the most beautiful signs of a journey, do you know? And so it's just I wanted people to like this modern life is so much about everyone else doing better than you and our life is swallowing you up and people feel really alienated, I feel, and not as confident as they make out. And so it's really nice I wanted to make a record where people didn't feel alone. People could see, oh well, if he thinks these things and then inherit those words and it applies to their life, now you've got a bond, now you've got that bond, the listener and the author, you've got a bond.
And I guess that's the difference from the last record. I guess The Art of Survival. I guess that to me was more of a social and political stance, and to this, I Beat Loneliness. It seems as though it's almost like your personal answer to all of that. It's a little bit of self-discovery and all of it. And as you just sort of said, that relatability. It's got that
Yeah,
touch.
yeah, that at the time of the art of survival, I'd been through some things, particularly some malevolent things, and come through it, and had been pretty scarred by it. And so I wanted to write about celebrating all the people that survived things. And so that's why the art of survival this was the title that I thought of. I was so thought of that, and then this one just went deep on the inside because I realized that's my most value to people. I want to be of value, being in a band is to be of service to the people that love you. It's to some extent, I know it's very artistic. You make your own statements and fuck everyone else. But you're in a band for approval. You complain publicly so that people show love and applause and make you feel whole. So it goes therefore logically hand in hand to just want to make music for people that have shown love to the band. I love it. Like I played the other day of a show yesterday at K Rock, a radio station here, and I did 6 songs and played I Beat Loneliness for the first time. And the front row was a couple of people, but this one girl, Laura Medina, who does this thing called 1 Second Bush, like since the beginning, like when it was just a website, before just when it was just say emails you could go to, just a website. And there she was listening to it, and I saw her face. And it's just such a great thing. Same difference when people say, I named my son after you, which happens all the time. When I make a great record, I feel so good that they made that decision. Because if I made a record that sucked, they would regret it. So I'm always so happy if the show's gone well or the record's great for everyone who named their son after me. I literally don't want to fuck up because I'm not going to curse that kid with some bullshit record.
Exactly, exactly. And I love that super personal take and the love and respect for the fans. Um, this record for me really is a rebirthing of the band. I love everything about this album sonically, whether it be through my home stereo system, in the headphone, through my headphones, or even in the car. There is just something that magical about this record and the production. Now you co-produced um, this album. Is it the first time that you've really stepped into that co-producing role?
No, I'm a complete control freak and I write the songs. So imagine what it's like with me. It's a nightmare. I was super specific with every producer, but I love that. I'm always in conjunction with the producer. I never override a producer, but I'm learning, I'm watching, and whether it's Clive Langer, whether it's Steve Albini, his approach to recording, all of them, like the beauty of my job has been this learning curve, and everyone brings something different. And so I'm the amalgamation of all that experience. So of course I'm like really collaborative in the studio. Like I'm just gonna sit there and let you fuck with a song, but like don't fuck it up because it's gonna happen. It's cooking. And like I was sitting there in Scars, and then Eric can cut a bit, He likes things short. So when I was playing Scars, it's like all I was thinking. I had a really good actor's face of like, yeah, do your thing, man. What are you thinking? All I was thinking was like, don't cut it. And I was like, and don't fill it. When everyone was playing, I was thinking like, don't overplay. So we sat there at the back, like, do I have to say anything to anyone? And luckily, everyone left it alone. So, you know, and everyone has an opinion. Chris is a mad opinionated producer. It's silly. It's just semantics. It's like mixes were a certain way, and then I listened to them, and they changed a lot. So maybe I should have been on the mixing, but it's just irrelevant. No one cares. People rarely ask about that. I put production, co-production, not it rarely comes up, but you obviously inevitably you're involved because also I have to represent. Like we can have an idea in the studio, and I know I can always win with the producer because I say, yeah, it's right for you, but I've got to repeat this for the rest of my life on stage. So I feel if it's got to go twice more, that's like, come on now. So but I'm very lucky because I have a great relationship with Eric. He's fantastic, and there's we'll continue to making records while we continue to have this fun and this success. You know, people loving this record.
It's got some incredible reviews globally already, and I guess out of curiosity, I went to see what others were writing about the record to see if people were feeling it the same way. And it really is a united feel for everybody that's had a listen to the record. It hits, it resonates, it's got this beautiful balance to it. I think when you were talking about in the studio and space and not overdoing things, the EDM elements that appear in this record appear in exactly the right places. It's that perfect meshing of you know I hate the term post grunge, but that that era that you
Let's call it
fell
plunge.
into,
Let's call it plunge.
plunge, plunge, then, but that era that you fell into with 16 Stone, um, all the hallmarks are still there, but there's just, I think, so much to offer again. I mean, it's really invigorating
Yeah, it's
to
weird. It's weird
get
for me
back.
because I kind of reflect on my approach to music and what I was doing. I think that with Return with the Sea of Memories, I was really proud of a number of songs and love that record. There's a sense of me treading water in a couple of places on reflection. And it was only when I kind of really delved into from the kingdom forward and into the whole world of murky world of detuned music that I began to unleash something that felt really organic and visceral for me. And I liked the sonic worlds in the forests I found myself in by using detuned guitars. And obviously, I'm not a screamer, so I just find the melody. So for me, I love these voyages of discovery because they're just me trying to get better at music.
And gosh, you've grown. It's a growth and it's a journey, and I think it's really cool as a fan too. From 16 Stone to now, is that as a band you've grown with me. I mean, the thoughts and
Right.
insights and
Yeah.
different directions, and that's crucial, I think. In today's world as well. One thing I do have to ask you is I saw the performance on Jimmy Kimmel on Monday just gone, and what a great first introduction to, I guess, the new album on television. How do you translate from obviously being a songwriter and a guitar player to being a frontman as you did on that performance? Is that something that you find challenging, or that you become comfortable with, or have become comfortable with?
I mean, it's just something I've always done. It's part and parcel of what I do. It's just another facet of it. And obviously, the best thing about there's so many great things about the being a musician and being a singer and stuff. And that's just another crazy highlight within the week of doing that. The joy that I get when I write songs and I put things together and things work, and one section goes to another and it rises and falls and that it's like I there's no joy I can tell you about than the greater joy than that for me personally. So I feel really connected to music, um, and forever its student. So I think that makes a vital records, when it's this wonderful voyage of discovery.
Mm, mm,
Not knowledge. Like I sort of feel like I'll never, like look at Mozart. I'm never gonna know music like that. I'm never gonna understand harmony like that. I'm never gonna be a jazz musician who quite understands chord extensions. I can't play jazz chords on my guitar. I don't necessarily want to, but there's a whole world of music I just can't. It's classical, arpeggiated classical pieces. I can play some of them, but these little studies, but I can't. I don't know how people play these entire songs.
mm,
So therefore, music is for me completely infinite. My potential for growth is just immeasurable. Think of David Bowie. Think
mm.
of one record of his, that guy, and I go to myself. I kind of could consider myself like I haven't begun. This has been warm up to this point. To make something of that quality of things he's done, or Tom Waits, did I write a song as good as Innocent When You Dream? I don't know. It's like master status, Black Star,
Oh,
master.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely,
Mm.
without a doubt. Now, for you, I guess when writing, I mean, does the lyric come before the melody? Is Do you write
It
in
all comes together.
a
Like, and I'm just grateful for have it. I sort of, I used to have it that I needed a set of lyrics, and I sort of was like Bernie Taupin, and then I wanted to become Elton John. I would do both jobs.
Mm.
And I do that, but then when I had a studio, first time I had a studio and I was trying to write for Def Jam and I wrote for Rihanna and I wrote for the girl I had on The Voice and I was songwriting for people. Then I could maybe think like that, working every day. But yeah, not with the Bush stuff. That was more in between.
For sure, and uh, I guess that's in many ways that's encompasses, I guess, everything and the connection between melodies and lyrics. Um,
Yeah.
and certainly on
I mean,
this,
I love that. It's the holy grail. For me, it's the
yeah,
holy grail. I listen to a load of new records today. Wet Leg, fantastic. Um, who's that other band? Wolf Alice, really nice, dreamy band out of England. And when I'm listening to it, I had a few hours off today before I leave, and I was with my dog, and I just read the lyrics. Always read the lyrics. So much better. Listen to Architect's record. Yeah, it's just, with them, they shout a lot, so you've got to like hear that. I don't know how they do that every night. It's fucking crazy. And then they go all soft and sweet.
and I guess it's funny you mentioned that. That's the one thing that I craved and that I missed in having the album in the advanced form, is that I didn't have the physical copy to peruse over the lyric sheet inside the
Right.
vinyl, and
Ah, that's the best.
isn't it just the most amazing thing? So
It's the roadmap. It's literally the roadmap. And, I love hearing people's records and listening to what they've been up to, any genre, and listening to what the intention was. I really find a great inspiration in that when they get it right. I mean, music's like magnetic or not magnetic. So when it's magnetic, good things happen.
it's exactly right. So for you, do you have a favorite track on the record, or is there one that sits with you as, yeah, I got that absolute.
Anytime it can change, but one thing I really remember being deeply moved by is We Are of This Earth. And when I was playing it, I was making this dreamy, hazy track. And when it became the We Are of This Earth, don't kill me slowly, do it fast. You know, it was such a gift, those words. It just really cut me. It really was a like me being me, really like open. And whenever I have moments on records, there could be someone else playing, Chris playing a beautiful part, I'm always excited that that part now lives forever. I'm always blown away by it. Like I still feel the magic in making of records there's these snapshots in time and how people played and what they did. And I've always loved videos, and I always unusually for people in bands, I love photos. So I guess I'm vain, because everything is a snapshot of time.
Mm.
Everything is like everything is a moment because you don't really think about it, especially when you're young. Like life has no horizon. When the irony is, life is nothing but a horizon, and so it to be lived and enjoyed at all times, at all costs, because it's literally. There's no rehearsal happening, and things change. People change, and you lose people, you gain people. Your 60 ways to forget people. It's all the people. I lost a few two best friends or two people I thought were really close to me, two dudes and their families. I lost them as friends. I lost them, and about yeah. yeah, and I just it annoys me, you know. It annoys me. It hurts me and it annoys me. And I feel um that loyalty that I have sometimes can turn around and bite you, you know. People aren't needed. No one's as loyal as I am. I'm like, if I'm your friend, I'm like a guard dog. I'm gonna have your back at all costs. Like I'd be really good in jail because I'm like, well, let's scrub that idea. But I just mean I just follow a code. I follow the code, the bro code, very, very, very seriously. I'm a serious, good wingman, you know.
That's a
But I
great.
don't want to go to jail. So scrap that. Terrible. I do
No,
not
but
want to go to jail.
that's an amazing quality too, you know, and there should be more of it in this world. And it's funny you mention that, is that those close relationships that you do form, and certainly as you get on in life, and those either fall apart or fall by the wayside for whatever reason it is, you know, they don't come easily. You know, that losing those relationships, they always have a level of weight to them,
Yeah, for
that,
sure.
that plays and resonates. But you know, as you sort of said, if we go back to where of this earth, you know, that to me was the probably the first real standout lyrical song for me that I had to go back and take in over and over again. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I could imagine it being in a book of poetry. It hit that hard. So, I, yeah, that's
He
another.
was the wood, she was the glue.
Sorry.
He was the wood, she was the glue.
Mm, exactly, exactly. All very, very vital and great interpretive words. You know, it sets a scene, another dimension to the music. Now, I also need to ask you about "Rebel with a Cause," the closing track. That's just, you know, just so hauntingly beautiful. And another lyric that I connected with pretty much instantly. The I guess the mindset behind that one for you.
To write a song about everyone, to write a song about the courage to everybody makes it through in spite of their histories, in spite of their circumstances, and everyone, most people put on a s- strong, brave face. And now we're getting to this thing of discussing it for people to kind of maybe show that they're not so brave. But I like this idea that a rebel with a cause is someone who just like refuses to get beaten by life. Because if you're not careful, life will slap you around. And we all know you got to be pretty good at jujitsu to just avoid the pitfalls of life and the quicksand that we get confronted with on a sadly reasonably regular basis, whoever we are, I think. And so you can always see that people are definitely dealing with things all the time. That kind of that lovely simple adage of you know you never know what someone is going through, and you could literally stop anyone in a bar and you would hear a story where you'd probably be feel bad for what they're having to deal with and be like, "Oof, unlucky," and you'd be relieved it wasn't your problem. Very rarely do you meet people that are like, "Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos." You're like, "Ah, I want to be fucking Jeff Bezos."
Absolutely. But again, you know,
I mean, you know, I love life, right? I really love life. That's my whole thing, is that when you can air out, purge your demons as such, and purge your progress, and just uh, confess it. That leads to a better life. I'm all about better life, and no wasted time, no bad meals, no shitty conversations with people, just good connections, because it is hard enough.
absolutely, absolutely, life is tough. You know, and what you can find and where you can find, you know, the positivity in it, or whether it be music, other people, it's all crucial. It's all crucial to our
Yeah,
existence. So not only is the album released, but you've started the first leg of this tour, which is quite a massive run through the USA with, you know,
I know.
small show on Sunday night at Madison Square. How does it feel to be, you know, playing a venue like that
It feels iconic. I mean, look, we are on tour as special guests with Shinedown, so it really is. It means more about them and what they do in the garden. We will just provide just an insane set for people to just get lost in. That's my aim. I'm sort of writing the set like it's all about introducing how we feel about music and life right now. And so I'm probably going to lean quite new record heavy and lean slightly less on where we've been because it feels time and it feels vital to just let that record run with people. But you also have to be really careful because it's Madison Square Garden, so it's like you don't want cavernous places where people don't know any of the songs. So I'm like, this is after this round of interviews finishes, I have to wrestle with what songs to play, and I have a bunch of sets all written out. I cut out the titles and I do my cut up techniques and then do lots of variations and photograph them. So I end up with a little catalog, little photo shoot of ideas, and then cut those up again and be like, second guess people, which is impossible. You can't second guess five people in one row. Well, they'll all want something different. He wants chicken, she wants fish, and he wants veal. It's going to be different for everyone. So you kind of fucked. You have to just follow what you best can deliver a show. So for me, it has to be progressive because then it's braver. And I always like verging on nearly getting it wrong. Like I base my life off of that. You can't, if you play it safe, you don't win. You just play it safe. There has to be a degree of uh, risk involved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, from what I've seen from the last couple of set lists that have been posted online, I mean, there has been a great mix of old and new, and the integration of the couple of new songs has been well placed. But just looking at it on a piece of paper,
Right.
hearing it live, I think it would be pretty special as well. So after you finish in the States, you're off to Europe again for a couple of months. How different will that leg of this tour look, do you think, to this one?
Well, I can't guarantee we'll look as well as we do now. Of course, we'll be bedrazzled, beaten, shells of ourselves. My voice will definitely not be as healthy as it is now, but it'll be worn in. I'll sound like a baked different person. But no, I hope to stay fit and focused, and I just think it will be more devastating shows. My old whole adage, it's vaguely annoying, but it's like you're as good as your last show, and that's all that matters. And we're touring so much. If you didn't like, you could lose your mind on this tour. It's obscenely long. It's
Mm.
literally too long. It's too long. I don't. I just agreed twice separately, and then when I saw them all together, I realized I'd fucked up.
Oh shit, yeah,
I agree. I agreed to the north to the Europe 2 months because I thought that's brilliant. We'd have the summer off in America, England, wherever I want to be, have them time off, let people just like reset. And then the offer came from Shinedown to play with them on their tour, and that's semi-protected. It's just smart. We don't have to worry. We bring a lot of people to an already very, 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 very successful band. So that I feel is going to be really positive, and it was dumb to pass that up because they're a great band and they give us the great gift of their audience, and so that's how that works out. And it feels like our time right now. So that's why I feel like we have to make these shows very headliney in their bravery. I'm not going to be on there and just like playing the hits while people come in. When we opened for Alice in Chains, and those places are packed when we're there. So I don't know if we'll go pack it out, but it'd be very noisy Bush fans. And I want to give them something, I want to give them new. I don't want to give them what they could have seen last year. I want them to be like, okay, this is what this is.
yeah. Yeah,
And gotta be brave.
absolutely. Now, you were last out here in Australia in 2022 with the Under the Southern Stars tour as a part of that bill. Will we see you back again soon? Obviously not this year. It looks as though this year's probably out of the question.
Yeah, I think that February, we're looking at my management is talking to the agent, to the motor about February, and they keep flicking names backwards and forwards, who they think should be good support. So it's that far in that the promoter is arguing with my manager about the support slot. So that would be intimate. I mean, for me, that's in my mentally, I already know that I will be in Australia in that time.
That's
I'm mentally
fantastic.
prepared for that. Now, if it messes up and people don't care or we don't get the offers, then so be it. But as far as I know, like I finish in December and then I have a lot of December off and a lot of January off and then half of February off because I asked for it. And then I was like, so I'm going to Australia after that. So I'll be well rested at that point.
Excellent. And just your memories of that last time in Australia. I mean, do you have a standout moment from those shows and from that tour and from Australian fans?
Well, the thing about Australia is they have a really high standard because there's a culture of live bands is really. I know it's actually waning now, and it's harder and harder as bars close. I think across Australia, but uh, yeah, for us, it's always been rock music. People love it in Australia. When we can get to the shows, when we get there, I've always found it strange that we don't play more, but it's always tricky to make that huge track. It's more complicated than I guess I realized because we had that, under the Southern Stars, like this is great, mate. Let's go back next year. Just do 10 days, 10 shows, keep it like tight. And then it's like every year you say, what? No, not unless you earn it. So there's like when the new record is February.
No, it's fantastic. Going back to the album, congratulations on the album. We are running out of time. I'm sorry I've lost track of time, and I'm sorry if I've
No
encroached
problem.
your personal time.
No,
Uh,
it's all
but
good.
but the record is fantastic, and at this stage, it's certainly going to be my record of the year. It's already sitting in that position for me.
Well,
I can't wait for the rest of the world to hear it. I can't wait for existing
great.
fans to hear it. And I can't wait for the swarm of new fans that will flock to the band from this record too, I'm sure.
Wow.
But
All right. Thank you.
thank you so much for your time, Gavin. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And here's to catching up with you potentially in February next year.
Yeah, great. Thanks, mate. All the best. Cheers.
Thanks, Gavin. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.